Hello everyone, welcome you to SAP Beginner to Career video series. Today we're going to talk about how SAP integrates business processes. Moving to our career roadmap, it consists of 25 sessions. Part 1, we are talking about ERP and SAP basics. In part 2, we are talking about SAP modules overview, module deep dive. In part 3, we will be discussing technical and system side of SAP. In part 4, it has dedicated to talk about career and learning path. In part 5, we will be talking about future and growth with SAP. When it comes to SAP, its biggest power is integration. Integration means the connection in between each modules. So, as an example, let's say one transaction, we are performing a one transaction and it impacts multiple areas. You're putting a sales order in system, sales order records from material management in, it will reserve materials, and once you are processing your sales orders and you delivered it to your customers, stock will be reduced from your warehouses, and from customer in, receivable will be marked, account receivable will be updated. When money receives, all the bank entries will updated. Likewise, each module work together, so we called it integration. One transaction, you are performing just one transaction, but it impacts on multiple areas. Today we're going to talk about order to cash processes and procure to pay process. Using those two processes, I'm going to explain you how each modules work together, how each modules has been integrated together to deliver business processes. This is really simple diagram to show you how order to cash processes work in business. We call it O2C, OTC, um, and other terms O2C. In everything explain the order to cash business process. So first, order to cash start from sales order. In some business scenarios, there might be sales inquiry creation, sales quotation creation, as well as pre-sales activities. And after those pre-sales activities, sales order can be generated as well. But in generic terms, we call order to cash start from sales order creation. If you have watched my previous videos, you already know sales order creation belongs to sales and distribution module. Then it will flow to delivery and good issue. This is the next transaction. In between, there can be multiple transactions based on different business scenarios, different business what we call the configuration. Those are the high level steps. So when it comes to the delivery and good issue, it involves sales and distribution module as well as material management modules, because in this process, in this step, inventory involvement is there. So inventory managed by material management module. So when it comes to the delivery and good issue creation, it manage both SD and MM modules. Next step is to create customer invoice. When we are creating customer invoice, it impact sales and distribution module as well as finance module, because when we are creating customer invoice, we are creating receivable from customer, as well as it's we in finance terms we call it account receivable, so it impact on finance module as well. Then we have now we have created customer invoice. Next step is payment posting. We are getting payment from customer. At that point, that transaction, those entries record in finance module as well as controlling modules, because it impact on profitability as well. So as you can see in this order to cash processes, We have four main transactions, and to perform those four main transactions, we want integration between four different modules: sales and distribution, material management, finance, and controlling. So, sales, logistic, finance, all these functionalities has been integrated in one flow. Even the business process has been integrated, and SAP process also integrated. These are the high level steps involved in order to cash process. Sales order creation happen using SD module. So in that, capturing customer product prices happen at that transaction level. Then delivery creation involve and SD both modules. So stock reduction, accounting entry posting will be there. When it comes to billing, SD and FI, account receivable, revenue, tax updates will be there. When it comes to the payment, FI and CO modules will be updated, cash received, and profitability analyzed. So in order to cash process, now you have seen how each module integrated and how it perform the business process. You need to issue your finished good from your warehouses to customer based on customer requirement. That business process has been performed using SAP system, and to perform that business process, different modules in SAP has been integrated together. Let's move to process number 2, procure to pay, P2P. Normally we call this P2P. This involves in procurement side of business. Previously we talked about the sales side of business. Now here procure to pay involved in procurement cycle of the business. In procure to pay process, we can start the process by raising purchase requisition. Purchase requisition means business user create a purchase requisition. He or she will be logged his requirement to the system using purchase requisition. As an example, let's say IT user want 5 computers. So he or she will be raising purchase requisition saying I want 5 computers. That involves material management module. Then it will flow to procurement department. In between there can be RFQ creation, contract creation, or multiple steps can be there. This is a high level flow. Then purchase order creates. Purchase requisition is just a requirement document. Request, we say request document. Then considering that request, procurement department procure, like source for vendors, suitable vendors who can provide 5 computers. And there can be more in between processes, maybe value comparison, supply quality comparison. Likewise, there can be so many steps, and using those all evaluation steps, purchase order will be created by putting vendor. Normally in purchase requisition we don't put vendor or pricing, it's just a request. After submitted request, procurement department will source for suitable supplier and obtain quotation from them. Then referring to that quotation information, purchase order will be created in the system, and at that point pricing, vendor name, and all the rest of the detail will be uh, recorded in the SAP system. Now purchase order has been created. It also comes under material management module. Then we have created purchase order and we are sending purchase order to our selected vendor. Now he has manufactured or he has delivered goods to us. When we receive good, we will be generating good receipt. We are receiving good by warehouse, so warehouse team will create good receipt. It involves material management module as well as finance module, because when GRN is processing, we are creating liability. We have received good from external vendor, then for those goods we need to do a payment, so there is a liability. And we are getting stocks to our system. So those stock contain a value. With that, finance module update will be there. Then vendor invoice, movement in receipt out. We are creating the vendor payment document, vendor invoice referring to the invoice shared by suppliers. So again, material management and finance module involved there, because vendor handling material, all those related activities are handled by material management module, and here we need to do a payment to supplier, so finance modules also involve AP, account payable. Then when the payment is done, payment run is done, then finance and controlling module updates there, because it can be expense, it is actually expense to us. So the profitability update, controlling module updates are there, finance and controlling entries will be updated. So to perform this procure to pay process flow, as you can see, material management, finance and controlling modules work together. Each module has been integrated, works together to deliver this procure to pay process. So this is how business processes are integrated and work together. In procure to pay process, these are the steps highlights. PRPO create under material management module, business needs translated into supplier orders. PR is the business need and it's translated into supplier order by PO. Then good receipt happen, MI to FI, stock increased, GR, IR entry will be created. And when it comes to the invoice, it's FI, AP liability created. Account payable liability is created, and when it comes to the payment, finance and controlling modules are involved. When declared, cost tracked. Okay, I think now you have understanding about what is integration between each modules. Let's move to talk about why integration matters. Because real-time data across all departments. When modules talk each other, when modules have a proper integration, it update real-time information across all departments. As an example, when we have an integration, when I'm putting a sales order, it use sales and distribution module, no? But when, as long as there's integration, when I'm putting sales order, it integrate with material management module and support sales order creator to check whether the materials are available in warehouses or not. Otherwise, I'm going to create sales order. Individually, I'm going to create sales order and I have no idea. I'm putting like 10 cases, but I have no idea whether these 10 cases are available to issue or not. If there is no integration, that problem can be there, because I raise sales order and again I need to go to another module, another T code, and check if actually stocks are available me to issue. It can be another activity. When performing like again when we are creating sales order, if credit checks are activated, system automatically tell us whether we can create another sales orders to this particular customer. If he has outstanding payment, system throw us a message saying, look here, this customer hasn't settled previous invoices. So integrate with finance module and tell us his credit health. If there was no integration between each modules, we don't know. We have to go for maybe manual calculation, or we need to check our excels, we need to check bank transaction and everything to find out whether we can issue a new order to this particular customer or not. So having integration support us to real-time data across all department, and it gives us end-to-end process visibility, O to C, P to P. Likewise, there are processes in business, so it gives end-to-end visibility. PR creator can check whether the PO has been created, whether the GRN has been performed, whether the Miro has been generated, whether the payment has been uh, created. Likewise, end-to-end visibility can be end-to-end visibility is there when there is an integration. Otherwise, PR creative has to manually go to check whether the payment has been done, whether the PO has been generated. Likewise, but having integration, it provides end-to-end process visibility to user and favor errors and faster decisions. Each modules has been integrated. With that, it leads to minimal errors, because as an example, when we are raising sales order, if there is no quantity, system tells us to create this sales order, there is no available stocks. If that message is not there, we will be creating multiple sales orders, but when it comes to delivery, there is no stocks to deliver. At that point, it can be late us to cancel the sales order, because we might have sent perform invoice to our client already and confirmed that we can deliver those 10 cases, but when it comes to the actual delivery, if there is no stock in our warehouses, it will not good for our company as well. So having this integration, it leads to minimal errors and faster decision making. When we are creating sales order, when system throwing us saying that there is no enough stock, immediately you can, maybe MRP run or whatever, immediately you can inform your production team or your importing team, I need this stock by this date, so start your processes, start your manufacturing. So it leads to faster decision making through single source of truth for all businesses. System has capabilities, system providing us all the information, so it act as a single source of truth, so we can make our decision, we can increase the productivity, we can increase the efficiency of business processes, and we can make faster and more accurate decisions. We can use the system as single source of truth when there is integration. Let's have a look at the career angle. Process, not modules. Now, in our previous session, we have talked about functional modules and technical modules. So, this module concept was there in ECC, SAP ECC version. So, ECC consultant equal to module expert. As an example, in ECC, if you're expert in sales and distribution processes in business, you can be a SD consultant. So you have to learn only sales and distribution module related transaction activities, everything, then you can be a sales and distribution consultant. Likewise, module consultants was there when ECC version operates. But when it comes to SAP S/4HANA, it focus on end-to-end business processes, not modules. Now, while ago we discussed about business process, O2C, Procure-to-Pay. In those processes, if you can remember, there were more than one module. So when it comes to the S/4HANA, if you know sales and distribution, you cannot run order to cash business process. You need to know material management and FI as well. This doesn't mean that you need to be expert on MM and FI as well, but you need to have a high level understanding about how those modules contribute to your business process, not your module, to your business process, because after S/4HANA, it focus on business processes, not modules. So these are the key processes companies expect. In normal companies, these processes are there. So SAP also has been evolved around those business processes. Order to cash, it completely manage your order processing part. Procure to pay, it handles your procurement cycle and the vendor payment cycle. Plan to procure, this manage your planning, scheduling, those forecasting related activities and procurement. Record to report, mainly manage your finance related modules processes. Hire to retire, entire your HR focused area, starting from employee screening up until their resignation or maybe retirement, up until their whole employee journey will manage by hire to retire. So like this, you if you want to be in SAP, if you want to be in SAP job field, you need to more focus on business processes rather SAP modules. Today we talked about SAP integration, and we discussed about order to cash and procure to pay processes as examples, and we talked about the advantages of integration and your career focus. If you want to be a SAP consultant, how you should uh, think about it, how you should improve your knowledge, and what are the areas you need to focus on. So future SAP is process driven, not module driven. So consultant should adapt accordingly. In next session, we will be discussing about the SAP Material Management module. So from today, we are concluding our part 1, which was focused on ERP and SAP basics. Now we have covered all those ERP and SAP basics. From next session onwards, we will be discussing each module in more advanced manner. So let's meet with another session. Thank you for watching.